में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, मेरे नैनों की नगरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम। मेरे रोम रोम के है राम ही रमैया, मेरे रोम रोम के है राम ही रमैया, सांसों के स्वामी मेरी नैया के खिवैया, सांसों के स्वामी मेरी नैया के खिवैया, नैया के खिवैया कन कन में है राम, कन कन में है राम, त्रिभुवन में है राम, नीले नभ की अटरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम। जन्म जन्म का जिनसे है नाता, जन्म जन्म का जिनसे है नाता, मन जिनके पल छिन गुन गाता, मन जिनके पल छिन गुन गाता, मन गुन गाता गुन गुन में है राम, गुन गुन में है राम, रुन झुन में है राम, सारे जग की डगरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम। जहाँ कहीं देखूं वहीं राम की है माया, जहाँ कहीं देखूं वहीं राम की है माया, सब ही के साथ श्री राम जी की छाया, सब ही के साथ श्री राम जी की छाया, राम जी की छाया सुमिरन में है राम, सुमिरन में है राम, दर्शन में है राम, मेरे मन की मुरलिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, मेरे नैनों की नगरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम।
Sitaram, Hari Om. Welcome, family and friends, to this our monthly satsang on the occasion of the passing of Pundit Deonarine Maharaj. I'm so happy that you all could join us. It's our first live in months. I know a lot of you joined Swami on his 108 nights Ramayana for the last few months. We are welcome. We are very lucky to have with us tonight Sri Aroona ji from Chinmaya Mission, and she's going to impart the holy words of Ramayana for us. Thank you and welcome, Aroona ji.
Okay, Hari Om. Sound is okay? Hari Om. That's strange. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryankaravavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate. Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Bihita Nishacharachamu. Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram. Ramasya dasosmyaham. Rame chittalaya sada bhavatu me. Bho Rama mamuddhara. Mata Ramo matpita Ramachandraha. Swami Ramo matsakha Ramachandraha. Sarvaswam me Ramachandro dayalu. Nanyam jane naiva jane na jane. Hari Om. So Hari Om to whomever is online, and Hari Om to Auntie and everybody here. The great crowd gathered here today. So when you ask people questions, you have to prepare yourself also for the answers that you get, because sometimes they might throw you for a loop. So when Auntie asked what to do, when she asked, I asked, well, is there a topic you want to do? Because, I kind of didn't know what to prepare. So she said, yeah. So you'd normally expect, you pick whatever you want to do, you do. But no. Auntie said, yeah, can you talk about when Rama died? And what happened then? So she threw me for a loop there. But that was good, because then it just meant that I had to pick up Valmiki Ramayana and study, which is something I don't do regularly, off and on, especially when doing research. But so it was a good choice. So Bhagwan left this earth, this earthly realm, and returned to Vaikuntha. And this story is not told in Ramcharitmanas. Tulsidashi does not discuss this. Many things are there in Ramcharitmanas that Tulsidashi does not discuss, like when Sita ji is exiled after hearing about Rama hears about this Dobi and the complaint that the Dobi makes. Tulsidashi does not write about that. But the poet has authority. He has poetic license, as it were, to make decisions, add what he wants to add, take away, not add, like that. So this story of Bhagwan's return to Vaikunt comes in Valmiki Ramayana, which is, I don't want to say original, but Valmiki Rishi was a contemporary of Bhagwan, and therefore he was writing as it happened, Tatkal. And what does Valmiki say? So it comes there at the end in Uttarkand, similar to Tulsi Ramayana. There are 7 kandas in the Valmiki Ramayana. Subtle differences are there. Sometimes the order of stories also vary depending on how Tulsidashi feels and where he chooses to put. So there are some variations like that, but overall it's the same, and he maintains the general idea, the general principles are kept. But the difference is that in Uttarkand, where Tulsidashi stops Ramkatha and then goes to Kakbushundi and talks about Kakbushundi and Garuda and Kakbushundi's life story, the Ramayana of Valmiki ends with Bhagwan returning to Vaikunt. And how does that go? I think a lot of people are familiar with that story also. I feel people have heard that story. But we may not always know where the story comes from. We may not know little nitty-gritties of it. So this I will tell tonight. Because I was asked to tell that. Because I asked also what to talk about. So at the very end, Ram Rajya lasts for 11,000 years. So in 11,000 years, many things happen. Details get forgotten. Facts get a little bit muddled up. So a lot of things like that take place. And at the very end, Bhagwan himself has gotten a little bit of weariness. I mean, I get weary after 8 hours of doing anything. So 11,000 years is a lot. So Bhagwan gets a little bit tired and he is walking, and as he walks, he comes across Kala. Kala, Yamaraj, takes his form, and Yamaraj meets Bhagwan as Kala. Valmiki writes as Kala, time. And the Lord and this Kala have this nice conversation. As they walk and as they talk, eventually Kala says, Bhagwan, I want to talk to you about something, but we need privacy. It's confidential, and I don't want anyone to overhear this. So Bhagwan says, okay, no problem. So as they walk, Bhagwan calls Lakshmana. We can assume Lakshmana was somewhere around because, like a good security guard, he was probably just a few steps back, not right there with them, but somewhere nearby. So Bhagwan calls Lakshmana and he says, Lakshmana, Kala wants to have a conversation with me, and he doesn't want anybody to overhear. So we are going into this room. You guard this door, make sure nobody enters. If anybody overhears our conversation, the penalty is death. So Lakshmana doesn't think anything of it, no problem. He was probably going to stand there anyway, so no big deal. And of course, Lakshmana has no problem telling people to leave Bhagwan alone. It's very easy for him to do that. So Lakshmana stands guard. Bhagwan and Kala have a conversation. In this dialogue, Kala, the great herald of time, he tells, this Treta Yuga is at an end now. Now, Dwapar Yuga is about to begin. Your time is coming to an end. And, Bhagwan, you've been away so many years. Now all the devatas, all the celestial beings, Gandharvas, they're all missing you also. Because you've been here. So maybe you should go there and spend time with them. Bhagwan says, this is true. And agrees. While this conversation is happening, Lakshmana is guarding that door. The great Durvasa Rishi comes. And Durvasa Rishi is known for his pleasant disposition. Very nice, easygoing, gentle type of person. Not really, no. He's trigger happy Durvasa, always ready to get into a fight. And Durvasa gets there and he demands of Lakshmana to see Bhagwan. Lakshmana tells, no, The Lord has given this instruction. Nobody is to enter into this room. Even you, Muni as you are, Rishi, sage. I can't let you in either. Durvasa then says, all right, if you don't let me in, then I will curse you, I will curse your family, I will curse everybody. This entire Raghukula dynasty, I will curse every single one of you. A little bit of an overreaction, but what to say? Rishis are like that. So then Lakshmana says, well, he thinks to himself now. Very important in this Ramayana. Lakshmana doesn't simply stick to his guns and say, oh, well, Bhagwan said this, therefore no. Neither does he simply say, oh, the Rishi is threatening me, so I'll let him go. He thinks to himself. And what does he think? Lakshmana makes a very important decision in that moment. Comes to a very important conclusion, which is what? He says, in a very firm resolve, that my destruction is far greater, far more desirable than that of everybody else. If I enter that room, Bhagwan will have to kill me. That is the penalty for me entering. If I don't enter that room, if I don't allow the Rishi to go in, the Rishi will curse everybody. Therefore, the entire Kula dynasty, this entire family, all of Ayodhya will be punished for this. So when this is a catch-22, it's a Sophie's choice, what to do. You have to make a decision. So he chose the selfless path. He chose instead, let me be the one to suffer and let everybody else not have to suffer. This was not their decision. Lakshmana enters. By that time, Bhagwan and Kala actually at the very end of they're wrapping up that conversation. So he really doesn't hear much. So Kala leaves. Bhagwan goes out there, meets the Rishi. Whatever the Rishi has come for, Durvasa was fasting for thousands of years. He came there only for Bhagwan to break that fast. Bhagwan gives him food. Durvasa returns to his ashrama. And now Rama and Lakshmana are left. Rama doesn't say anything right away. They return to their lives, whatever it is. But this thought remains. This conflict remains in his heart. What is that? I made an oath. I said, whomever enters this room, they do so under the penalty of death. And Lakshmana is still alive. So I have not fulfilled my oath. But Bhagwan's conflict is, if we think back in Ayodhya Kand, when Sri Rama goes into Kaikeyi's palace and finds his father lying on the floor, and Kaikeyi tells, your father has given you the kingdom of the forest. You will not get kingdom of Ayodhya. Bhagwan does not get angry. Bhagwan does not have any conflict, doubts, confusions. He doesn't think anything of it. The Lord smiles. Tulsidaji writes very clearly, Rama hasita. Rama smiles. And he takes blessings from the father. He takes blessings from Kaikeyi. He takes blessings from Kaushalya, Sumitra, all the ministers, everybody. And he goes by morning time. That may have been close to midnight, based on how the events are told in Ramayana. By 6, 7 in the morning, Bhagwan is ready to go. And off he goes. No problem. But now, faced with having to punish Lakshmana for this, something that he knows. Lakshmana did what he did, not for himself, not because he was afraid of the Rishi. There was no fear there in Lakshmana's heart. Lakshmana made a decision for the benefit of others. So then why should I have to punish his Lakshmana for that? This is Rama's conflict. So much so that the Lord calls a great meeting, a great council, calls Rishis, Munis, ministers. Vishwamitra has to come also. The family guru. And Vishwamitra says, Vasishta also, yeah. But Vishwamitra is the one to give this advice, actually. Vishwamitra tells Bhagwan, you have made a promise. And If you break that promise, if anybody, we make promises, we tell people all the time, I promise you this, I promise you that. We can never fulfill. I promise we will live happily ever after. I promise to love you for the rest of my, we can't fulfill these promises. It's not realistic. But when we make a promise, when we swear an oath, take vrats like that, if I don't follow through on that oath, if I break that vow, then what happens? Dharma is lost. Virtues are lost. When dharma is gone, then the whole society crumbles. A whole Bhagwan Gita, 18 chapters written, and that main theme is given there. When dharma is lost, due to our own inadvertence, then society crumbles. Society will be at a loss. So Bhagwan knew. But sometimes we know what the right thing to do is, but we lack the courage to make that decision on our own. So we need somebody to give us a push in that direction. So the Lord decides. The Lord recognizes the wisdom, the truth of what Vishwamitra says, and he tells Lakshmana, you are now forbidden. You are now exiled. He exiles Lakshmana. What is Lakshmana to do? Lakshmana can't be happy with this. So Lakshmana leaves and goes straight to the Sarayu Nadi, Sarayu river that runs right there, just alongside the kingdom of Ayodhya. There, Lakshmana holds his prana, prevents himself from breathing, and blocking all of his passages like that, he drops his body and returns as Sheshnag, Ananta, right there at the banks of Sarayu. Not long passes by. Bhagwan Shri Ram, Sita ji is gone now. Now Lakshmana is also gone. He has already been here 11,000 years, so long, so many centuries, millennias, 11 millennias the Lord has spent here. He is weary. His time has also come. So Bhagwan decides, now I must go. He sends word to Bharat. He instills Lavakusha, his sons, gives them each north and south of Ayodhya. Sends word to Shatrugna, Jamavant, Sugriva, Angad, all of them, Hanumanji, everybody. Who can stay, stays. Who has to stay? Vibhishana and Hanuman, because they are both Chiranjeevis. They can't go. But everybody else says, Bhagwan, if you are going, we will go with you. And so the whole city of Ayodhya, very famously we know, they also go with Bhagwan. So Bhagwan returns to Vaikunt. That is the story. But stories are for children. Lessons are for adults. So what is the lesson there? Several things are there. Actually, very nicely in Bhagavatam, one nice shloka is there. This is told in Bhagavatam also, not just Ramayana. Smaratam hrivinyasya vidham dandaka kantakaihi swapada pallavam ramam atma jyotiragataha. Smaratam hridi, remembering in their hearts, vinyasya vidham dandaka kantaihi. Bhagwan leaves the memory of his feet. Very nice. This Sanskrit is very beautiful actually. Vedvyasya writes this very nicely. Bhagwan enters Swapada, his own state. Swapada pallavam ramam. Atma jyotir agat tataha. He returns to his own state of supreme being, supreme self. He leaves behind his feet, lacerated with the thorns from his days in Dandaka forest, in the heart of the devotees to contemplate upon Ramachandra Pada, his feet. Beautiful line there. This is in Bhagavatam. Vedvyasya writes this verse there, describing Rama's ascent and return to Vaikunt. So, several things are important there. Several lessons are there for us to learn. What are these lessons? Number one, I make a promise. I should keep that promise. Agrikaluriti sadachali ayi. time is a very powerful force of nature. The most powerful force of nature. I don't think there's anything as powerful as time. Water can be powerful, yes. But water is more powerful due to the course of time. One drop of water is fine, but after 5 years, one drop of water creates a great sinkhole. 5 minutes does nothing. So time adds to the power of any great force that there is. And in this powerful time, we should not falsify our own word. What do we have as an individual? What do we have what is our wealth? What is our virtue? What is anything? What is it that we have within us that other people cannot take away from us? The only thing that I have that is of great wealth to me and benefit to society is my word. If I say something, I should live up to that. In this regard, Ravana also was a great being. Ravana kept his word. If this Rama is a Devata, then he will kill me and I will go to his abode only. If this Rama is a human being, Ravan said, I will kill him and I will get Sita. No problem. Even this Ravana made a promise and he kept that promise. You and I, we make promises all the time. We don't keep them. And these promises are our virtues. When I make it, when I give my word in a situation, I should keep that word. So to preserve and to protect the universe, to preserve and protect society, my family, myself, I should hold on to my word. Raghukula riti sada chali ai. Then, what else is there? In the Ayodhya Kanda of Tulsi Ramayana, there is a lovely conversation, a samvad that happens between Lakshmana and Guha. This is called as Lakshmana Gita. There, Lakshmana tells to Guha. Guha is looking at Bhagwan lying on the floor, sleeping in the forest floor, getting his feet lacerated by the thorns of the forest. And Guha experiences sorrow. And Guha tells, it is indeed true. Karma pradhana satyakaha logu. The whole world tells that karma is indeed the law that governs everything. What a terrible fate for Bhagwan. And Guha blames all of this on Kaikeyi. Lakshmana listens to Guha. And Lakshmana tells his Guha, Kahu nako sukha dukha kar data. Nija krita karma bhoga saba bhrata. Who can be responsible for the sufferings and the joys of another person? How can I be the cause for your sorrow? How can you be the cause for my sorrow? It is only nijakrita, my own deeds, my own actions, that bring about the results which are my situations, my circumstances I meet in this life. Therefore, Lakshmana tells the Guha there. Therefore, this Guha, don't blame anybody for anything. You can't. Kaikeyi is not to blame. Rama has come here and he must experience the prarabdha of this birth, this life, whatever that prarabdha is. So too, every single one of us, every jiva has to experience our prarabdha. We cannot get away from that. We cannot escape it. Try as we might, it is inescapable. So like that, there Lakshmana gives that guidance, that knowledge to Guha. It is the very same thing that Rama is displaying here. When my time comes, we might not... See, Lakshmana did not want to go. But Lakshmana did not want to go, not because he was attached to the world, not because he was attached to anything or anybody other than the feet of Rama. But Lakshmana had to go because he is Sheshnag. So if Sheshnag is he upon whom Bhagwan Vishnu rests, then if Bhagwan goes and Lakshmana is not yet gone, where will Bhagwan rest? So he had to go. He was not happy to leave, but not because of anything other than he would be leaving Rama. So if if I have to hold on to anything in this world, it shouldn't be to anybody in particular or anything in particular, wealth and house and these things, but to the feet of Bhagwan. Lord Shiva also prays. In Uttarakhand and Tulsi Ramayana, Lord Shiva says, Bada manga u. I beg you, again and again I beg you, to who Rama? Parasaroja anapayani. Again and again I beg you for that I will have unending, undying, unrelenting love and devotion to your feet. Lord Shiva is making that prayer. So Lord Shiva makes that prayer. Then who am I? What is my attachment? Lakshmana did not have attachment to anything. Lakshmana left everything. Lakshmana left palace, kingdom, everything. And went to Sarayu Nadi. All Lakshmana needed was the instruction of Bhagwan. And he left. Rama left also. Those who desired to go, they came. And they went willingly. Bhagwan never told Bharat, I'm going, you should come also, because Bharat and Shatrugna, my Kansh and Gara, said that they are the manifestations of his Kansh and Gara, Chakra, sorry. So you should come. Bhagwan never said that. I'm going. So he left it to them. They had made the decision, I will go with you. So when my time has come, like that, I also have to have that level of detachment and willingness, eagerness to meet whatever comes next in my path. Karma. Then, very importantly, easily overlooked in this whole thing, when Rama experienced doubt, when Rama felt, what should I do? What did he do? He went to his guru. He sought counsel of the elders. He sought counsel of those who knew better and who would give wise, sound, reasonable, logical explanations. This is what Rama did. This is what most of us fail to do. I think I know what's best, and therefore I should not have to go to anybody. I will make my decision by myself, and whatever happens, so be it. This was not Rama's attitude. Rama sought counsel. The Lord, Bhagwan, who is Sarvagnya, all-knowing Rama, he asked advice of the guru. He asked advice of the ministers. He did not leave it only to himself. So, 3 important things are there. Many more things are there. Not just 3, many more. But these 3 we'll see. We saw. If I make a promise, I should stick to that. In Mahabharata, in the war, Arjuna makes a promise. I will not kill such and such person. I will not rest or something so until such and such person dies. Shri Krishna looks to Arjuna and says, Arjuna, what is it with you and your family and all of these vows and oaths? You all keep making vows all the time, and half the time you can't do nothing. And now that's when Bhagwan had to, remember the Lord had to stop sun to keep it daylight to kill, who was it? I can't remember. But to make sure Arjuna's promise was kept, the Lord did that. So Krishna looked to Arjuna and said, maybe you should take it easy on making these vows. Because you can't make a promise and not keep it. Make a promise, I should stick to it. So the lesson there is, don't make promises. Lesson there is, think before making a promise. Don't just say, okay, yeah, I promise you this. No. Don't do that. Think first. Will you die with me when I die? Yes. No, you won't. Can't do that. Will you love me till the end of time? Yes. No, we can't promise that. We can't promise these things. So don't waste that breath either. So, this is why Raghukula Riti Sadachalya is such a strong statement. To preserve the word, to protect that my word is my life, in essence. My word, when I give it, it is my very life. Second thing, karma. Each and every one of us have our fate, our destiny. Whatever it is, it is. However it comes, it comes. But when it does, I must accept it. Along with that, as much as I cannot predict my own birth, similarly, when the time comes for me to depart, I can't predict that also. But the time that I spend in between birth and death, what did Rama do? Rama defeated Ravana and so many demons, gave so many Rishi Munis joy, and established Ram Raja. Between my birth and and my death, what did I do? Not much. I get like 7 ones in CXE, some A's. I might have graduated with honors. I don't know. What else I do? I don't know. See, his birth and death, look at what he did. So, yes, time will come. My death will come. That is true. But what am I doing with the time that I have? That is where I'm in control. That is the choice I make. And then, third thing. When I have doubts, when I have conflicts, when there is confusion, uncertainty in my mind, when I don't trust my own knowledge, I should seek counsel of those who know better than me. It could be anybody. It could be children. I doubt it'll be teenagers. Highly unlikely. Could be a 20-something. Could be anybody. Seek counsel. So those 3 lessons we take away from this little episode of Sri Rama's time on earth, his life. Simple, but nice. I'll keep it short, not to bore anybody. Okay, so I'll end on that. Because we started, I know you normally start at 6. So not to go over time. I know I have like 20 minutes. Auntie, will you sing? Do you want to sing? Can sing something? You sing.
Hari Om Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. अंत में निकला ये परिणाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम अंत में निकला ये परिणाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम सिमरो नाम रूप बिन देखे कौड़ी लगे न दाम सिमरो नाम रूप बिन देखे कौड़ी लगे न दाम नाम के बांधे खींचे आएंगे आखिर एक दिन राम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम अंत में निकला ये परिणाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम जिस सागर को बिना सेतु के लांघ सके न राम जिस सागर को बिना सेतु के लांघ सके न राम कूद गए हनुमान उसी को लेकर राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम अंत में निकला ये परिणाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम राम से बड़ा राम का नाम ओ दिल वाले क्या पाएंगे जिनमें नहीं है नाम ओ दिल वाले क्या पाएंगे जिनमें नहीं है नाम वो पत्थर तैरेंगे जिन पर लिखा हुआ श्री राम। राम से बड़ा राम का नाम, राम से बड़ा राम का नाम। अंत में निकला ये परिणाम, राम से बड़ा राम का नाम, राम से बड़ा राम का नाम, राम से बड़ा राम का नाम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय।
Do you all sing like that too? Okay. That was very. So that was a very beautiful bhajan. I like that bhajan. You'll share the lyrics? You'll share it? The bhajan. The words? Okay. All right. Okay. So, just to remind us all, in it's very easy sometimes to forget in the midst of enjoying life that what we are enjoying is a stage. Just now, you know, the government would have sent notice that the dry season is over and we are officially in the wet season. For most of us, we don't know the difference. It just comes and goes, we don't know. But just like one season ends and give way to another. A nice way of looking at this is like the seasons of temperate climates. When summer and spring gives way to summer, summer gives way to fall, the leaves fall down to the ground, the trees themselves experience in its own way a kind of death, but only to be born again at the end of winter, when winter gives way again to spring. Like that, life ebbs and flows from one state to the next. Nothing is ever gone. Bhagwan says, Shri Krishna says in Gita, that just like when we move from youth from adolescence to youth to old age, so too this jiva has to move from one body to the next, one stage to the next. It's a natural process, unending process, one that cannot be avoided, cannot be, we can't change that flow. That's beyond our ken. Therefore, this wise one, the wise ones do not mourn or grieve over that. They accept it and they also go with the flow, so to speak. So we'll close on that and meet again sometime. We'll see. Thank you so much for, thank you, Auntie, for asking me to come and do Satsang. It was a nice opportunity. I'm very happy for that chance. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again. Have closing prayer. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shri Satgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om.
मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, मेरे नैनों की नगरिया में राम है। मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम। मेरे रोम रोम के है राम ही रमैया, मेरे रोम रोम के है राम ही रमैया। सांसों के स्वामी मेरी नैया के खिवैया, सांसों के स्वामी मेरी नैया के खिवैया, नैया के खिवैया कन कन में है राम, कन कन में है राम, त्रिभुवन में है राम, नीले नभ की अटरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम। जन्म जन्म का जिनसे है नाता, जन्म जन्म का जिनसे है नाता, मन जिनके पल छिन गुन गाता, मन जिनके पल छिन गुन गाता, मन गुन गाता गुन गुन में है राम, गुन गुन में है राम, रुन झुन में है राम, सारे जग की डगरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम। जहाँ कहीं देखूं वहीं राम की है माया, जहाँ कहीं देखूं वहीं राम की है माया, सब ही के साथ श्री राम जी की छाया, सब ही के साथ श्री राम जी की छाया, राम जी की छाया सुमिरन में है राम, सुमिरन में है राम, दर्शन में है राम, मेरे मन की मुरलिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, मेरे नैनों की नगरिया में राम है, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम।